Hi, I'm Carla Schaefer, Auntie Speeds designer, and I'm going to demonstrate how to use a Swarovski sew-on stone to make into a pendant. I'm going to go over the list of tools and supplies needed for this project. Obviously, we're going to be using a Swarovski sew-on stone, and I'm also going to be using an assortment of beads. I'm going to use a copper bead, a Swarovski cubist bead, and a Swarovski graphic bead. Also, I just needed a couple of little rounds, so I'm using smoked topaz 4mm rounds. I'm also going to need some ultra suede leather, a clasp. I'm using a copper toggle, and also leather crimping ends. And you also need head pins. And for tools, round nose pliers, a nipper tool, and GS hypo cement. After you've cut the ultra suede to the length that you desired, I did 16 inches, and I actually added maybe about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch to allow for the lark's head knot. And a lark's head knot is actually a macrame knot. And since the sew-on stone has these two large holes on either end of it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two tips of the ultra suede, the two ends, and I'm going to slip them through the hole of the sew-on. And this is a lark's head knot. So you take the two ends, you bring it through the loop that you've created back here on the back, and pull. And this is our knot, lark's head knot. I'm going to go ahead and apply the crimp ends to the ends of the leather. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some hypo cement, and I'm going to apply a little glue to the end of the leather. This just adds a little security to the crimp end. Don't need much. And then these are the new crimp pins that we carry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip it on the end, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to take the little tips and mash them down. It may move around on you a little bit, but you just keep going side to side. This is why I also like the glue, because once it gets in there, it kind of stays until you get the ends crimped down. Just keep going back and forth until you get them on there. Of course, you want to repeat for both ends so that you have both crimp ends on either end. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the jump rings so we can apply the clasp. So for a jump ring, you want to use 2 pairs of pliers, chain nose, round nose. You want to pull and push away from you at the same time to open it. Slip it onto the eye of the crimp end, half of your clasp or toggle, and then for the same way as you opened it, you close. Just pull and push away from you until they click. And we'll repeat for the other side. Pull and push away till you can almost hear them click, and then you've attached your toggle. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to apply the dangles to the bottom of the stone. Okay, now to apply the dangles, you can obviously do any kind of little design that you would like on the bottom of this. And I'm going to go ahead and do a copper bead and a couple of crystals. But what I'm doing for the copper bead, because the hole is too big and it would slip off the head pin, I'm going to go ahead and put a smoked topaz 4mm round on the head pin, then the copper bead, and then another. And since this hole on the pendant is big, but yet the pendant itself is kind of thick, I want to use the larger part of my round nose pliers to make the loop so that I get a good size loop to go through the hole and around the thickness of the pendant. Again, you just start a loop like this, and I'm going to slip it through. And then we're going to close the wrap. Now if it's too short of a piece of wire here, you may also want to go ahead and use your chain nose pliers at the same time. And then you're going to trim the excess wire with the nipper tool. And see how it moves because I made the loop large enough. And then I'm going to drop another crystal using the cubist. I'm putting it directly to the head pin, and again I'm going to use the larger part of my pliers to make the loop. I'm going to slip it on. And I have just one more crystal that I'm going to add, and that's the graphic bead. And I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the copper bead. And trim it as well. And we've completed our necklace. Hi, I'm Carla Schaefer, Auntie Speeds designer, and I'd like to invite you to check out the Learning Center on our website for design ideas and jewelry making projects and other Carla Cam videos.